Hello, everyone. It's me again. It's me, Professor Jones. Welcome to week 3. Time is moving by really quickly. And so I wanted to briefly go over the content that's in Habit 2 and Habit 3. So we will be going over 2 habits this week, okay? And I want you to, again, review the feedback that I provided, implement it in real time, and if you have any questions or concerns, I'm here to assist. Okay, so habit 2, begin with the end in mind. Again, the same framework, however, the center ideals are different, vision and meaning. So what do we see when we have vision and meaning and when we begin with the end in mind? We see the mental creation precedes the physical creation. I can make a meaningful difference. And then what do we do? Right? What do? We discover what matters most to you and write a personal mission statement, set meaningful, realistic goals, map out a graduation plan, begin with the resume in mind. And what do we get? Right? In the see, do, get model. What is the author talking about? What are the results? What we get is a greater sense of meaning and purpose, a feeling of greater self-worth, accomplished goals, criteria for deciding what is or is not important. Moving along. And again, you'll notice in the text that the author reiterates this framework, right? The entire 7 Habits framework, looking at habit 1, 2, and 3, between dependence and independence, that threshold right here. And then once you pass that threshold, you gain the private victory using habit 4, 5, and 6. And then we become interdependent. That's the end goal. We want to hone in on how to reach this level, okay, with regards to career and or in life. And so again, this content is very subjective and can be used throughout your entire life. Really good text, really good text to have, right? So keep the electronic copy that you have stored somewhere because you can always revert back to it. The last words of Joan of Arc. Joan of Arc is considered a heroine. Okay, she's considered a heroine of France because of her role in the siege of New Orleans. Okay, what is a heroine? Not the drug heroin, not that heroin. What that meant during that time in the 1400s is that she is known for her nobility and her accomplishments and what she contributed during that time. And so her quote is useful in this course. And she says, I know this is now, every man gives his life for what he believes. Every woman gives her life for what she believes. Sometimes people believe in little or nothing, yet they give their lives to that little or nothing. One life is all we have, and we live it as we believe in living it, and then it is gone. Let that marinate. Let that sink in, and unpack that internally. Unpack it and try to understand it. Very, very powerful quote. And your sweet spot, your career sweet spot. As we move through college and we figure out, okay, what degree do I actually want to pursue? Because a lot of us start off as general, coming in general, trying to figure it out. Some of us already know what specific area of study we're going to pursue. And so if you don't fall in this, right, area where you're still searching and seeking for your sweet spot, and what exactly do you want to engage deeper in? What do you want to take a deeper look at in academia, right? Because so many different areas of study. And so just know that using this framework, looking at this particular framework, that the author is saying that talent, passion, need, and conscious contributes to finding that sweet spot. And for you to consider all of these things when pursuing a specific career and or entrepreneurship, right? Because entrepreneurship is a career for self, right? Using a specific talent that you may have and turning it into a business, you see? And the passion, something that you're passionate about, and turning it into your business. And so consider that, okay? Consider this framework moving along. Very short and sweet. And then habit 3, put first things first. A lot of us struggle with that. I know. But it's okay, because we are human. And as students, we are still human. And we have so much going on in life, and so much, and bombarded with so much information, and easily distracted by things like this handheld device here, that we can go off target and focus on things that does not contribute to our dreams, goals, and aspirations. And so putting first things first is a everyday battle. It's never going to end. It's non-ending. There is no deadline to perfecting this thing. We all fall short of putting what is important first, because we like to have fun. And it's all good. And sometimes we think that that's more important. Well, I want to add that it's not. And so again, same framework, see, do, get model, framework, model, very similar terms. We can use them interchangeably. In the center of this, you have integrity and focus, right? Integrity, doing what's right when no one is looking, having integrity. That's a really good tool to possess and use in real life. Because when you think one is not paying attention or watching, there's usually that person that is. So take this in, look at that, and practice it more and more daily and while in college. So what do you see, when you put first things first and you implement these 2 ingredients, center ingredients? What you see is effectiveness first, then efficiency, importance first, then urgency, relationships first, then schedules. What do we do? Live in quadrant 2, plan weekly, adopt daily, organize your stuff, dive into the courage zone. And then what do we get? Green, my favorite color. What do we get? More productivity, less stress, greater life balance, greater life balance. Don't we all want to possess that? Sure we do. It's good for you. Same framework. I don't think that this is something I could harp on. But what the author is trying to do is to keep that at the forefront of your mind, going from private victory to public victory. So, earlier here we mentioned urgency and what's important, right? And if we were in a classroom setting, it would benefit us to walk through this specific chart. But keep this chart in mind, right? As you're reading through habit 3, okay? Important versus urgent. You know, what's important, right? So what the chart is saying is what's important. It may be important, but is it urgent or not urgent? Not important, right? Is what's not important urgent or not urgent? What are some of those sorts of examples, right? Think about that. Let the juices flow in your mind and think about that, because there are some things that is not important. Excuse me, I'm not sure what just happened. Okay, and so I think it's reloading. What did I hit? I have a brand new desktop, and I just hit a button on the side that has slowed down. Oh man. Okay. And so I'm going to speak until it loads back up. So that area of, it said not urgent, important, but urgent and not urgent. Not important, excuse me, the bottom row. I want to touch on that because we tend to stay in that area quite often. You know, it said, okay, here we go. It's backloaded again. Thanks for being patient. For those who are watching, as you should all be watching. Okay. It says not important, urgent, right? And so let's talk about social media. Being that it's one of the most popular tools that's being used quite frequently on the internet, it's really not that important, right? Especially if you're not using it as a business platform and earning anything from it, and you're just scrolling to see what's up, right, with your homie, and did he reach New York on a Tuesday and eat rice and beans from the Puerto Rican spot in New York City that I love so much, you know, and did he post about it? That's really not that important, but we tend to make it urgent to know and see, right? And so it's important that you recognize that, you know, that things that are not important, if they're not important, how can they really be urgent? It's like, it's almost like an oxymoron way of seeing things and putting them before what's going to benefit you in the long run. Not important, not urgent. Can you come up with some examples? I'll leave that space for you. And so the quadrant self-check. Which quadrant am I in? Right now. Right. So you'll know that there is a assignment with reference to the quadrants. And which quadrant do you fall in? Why are you there? Why are you in that quadrant? Right? And how long have you been in that quadrant? What are the consequences of staying there? This is a brief self-check. And weekly planning tips. Here's some for you. When? Before the weeks begin. Where? Somewhere quiet. How long? 20 to 30 minutes. Not that much time. I would like to share with you that when I do take the time out to plan my week, and usually I love to utilize gadgets such as the calendar on my cell phone or the calendar on my Outlook, or the calendar within Canvas. So many different ways to plan your week, and it does me a service. It really does. It allows me to remain organized and to know what is up next, what's coming ahead. And so, there you have it. We're moving along eventually to habit 4. And so I will leave this video right here. If you have any questions or concerns, you can contact me, and I am here to help and assist. Thank you for listening.